Hey there everybody, Mazrock here, and today I want to be talking about Guardian Druid. I know. Unfortunately, this is probably not going to be one of the most pleasant conversations we're ever going to have on this channel, but we got to go through this talent reshuffle or whatever it is they've done and talk about some serious pain points, some highlights, but we also have to talk about some serious pain points. Before we do get started, please do like, comment, subscribe. We are smashing that 5K for the end of the year goal. Thank you so much, everybody. Yeah, oh my god, let's keep this up. There's t-shirts for sale. Woo! Tons of different kinds. Check it out, have fun. I'm going to be putting more out as time goes on as well. Please, there's a Twitch link down below if you want to watch me stream. I am going to be streaming all the tanks today because I want to kind of finalize my tier list for all the tanks. There's a Discord link down below if you want to come by, join a bunch of wonderful group of people. And lastly, I can't do this without my patrons. Thank you so much, everybody, for all of your support on Patreon. If you want extensive documents on some of the tanks, I have all the plate ones done. So I'm currently working on VDH, anything like that. Weak ore packets and things like that I have. All right, so let's get into bear. So number one, before we get into the bear tree itself, the way that I design my tank builds is I start by trying to make it as tanky as possible, or as tanky as possible without losing anything crazy offensive, right? There is a certain balance that you have to find between, doing damage and being tanky, and of course there's some options that you can take where you could be incredibly tanky, but you're gonna just all of your claws are gonna have little wet noodles on them while you just kind of attack. You know what I mean? Like, that's not gonna happen. We're trying to kind of build something that is both sufficiently tanky with that in mind, because the primary goal of a tank, stay alive, hold threat. After that, worry about damage. So that's kind of the mentality that I go in here. So we go into the bear tree itself. We're not going to be talking about the class tree, which I feel is a complete and utter fucking mess for bear anyway. This might be good for some of the other specs, but for bear, the class tree was totally unfun to make. But we are going to be specifying the spec tree today. So right off the bat, right, we have these 4 rows with a lot of points into them, and you immediately have to put your first point into something that you're probably not even going to have on your bars in Mythic Plus. All of Shadowlands, I haven't had them all on my bar at all. Literally, dead point. Now, they have buffed it to a point where you might actually use this, right? Bosses, single targets, things like that, you might actually use them all a little bit. After that, we have to put points into Survival Instincts and Gore. Obviously, we need to get Ursine Adept. This is basically a no-brainer grab, and then you have Berserk. After this, we have 3 points to spend. We have 2 sides of the talent tree to get to, and the things that you want really kind of suck to get at this point, right? So Brambles or Bristling Fur, this is a personal choice. I'm just putting Brambles in for whatever. Innate Resolve, you obviously want more regrowth and Frenzied Regen healing. 20% is not a small amount, and of course your Frenzied Regen has an additional charge. So this is like, you basically have to go get it. But then we have 1 point left to unlock the middle row, and Improved Survival Instincts is right here to get your second charge of Survival Instincts, because bear doesn't have a lot of defensives. They have Bark Skin and Survival Instincts. So, like, you want to go grab this, right? Like, you want to grab this, but then Survival of the Fittest is nowhere near connected to any of these, which is one of the first real feel bad moments where you have to go and grab these Mangle talents right here to be able to go to this side and grab Survival of the Fittest, which for 2 points, which, number one, the amount of 2 points in this tree is absolutely bonkers. This pathing right here, I do not like, right? But one of the main problems that we start having here now, we get to the middle of the tree, right? To be able to go grab Incarn, which is one of the main damaging abilities and even surviving abilities of bear, spam Thrash, gain shield, live, right? That playstyle has been horrendously nerfed, but we'll talk about that when we get to that side of the tree. Do you see where we have to start taking points? All of the cool stuff is on the outside here. Survival of the fittest, Soul of the Forest, Berserk, you know, Flashing Claws. Thrash has an additional chance to put in, to have an additional Thrash. Earth Warden. Alright, so now we're building kind of tanky. Here, I just went with Soul of the Forest, whatever. So now we have our Berserk talents. We have 2 points left, right? 2 points. And we're not even fucking close to being able to take Incarn. Our pathing does not allow us to go down here. This feels terrible when you're building the tree, because so far you're like, okay, I'm getting some cool stuff, I'm getting some basic stuff, I'm getting some survival stuff. This is the point where things don't really feel that terrible, but start to. This is the pebbles that kind of just cause the avalanche of bullshit on this tree. And the first real pain point, right, is the 2 points in Vulnerable Flesh, with which Maul has an additional chance to critically strike, and the 2 points in Layered Mane. So, what we're going to do is we're going to split this tree in half. For pathing issues, because that's the way they've done it, right? Layered Mane and Survival Instincts both connect to Soul of the Forest. Flashing Claws and Vulnerable Flesh both connect to Vicious Cycle. Layered Mane and Survival of the Fittest for 2 points are not the same 2-point value. Okay? So let's put the 2 points into Layered Mane. Having a 10% chance to apply 2 stacks of Iron Fur and Frenzied Regen is not the same thing as a 30% cooldown reduction on Barkskin and Survival of the Fittest, right? These are not the same value at all. So it immediately feels super bad if you want to go down here to grab Incarn to take any points out of Survival of the Fittest. Flashing Claws, which thrashes one of your main damage dealing abilities, versus Maul, which is a button that haven't even had on our bars all of Shadowlands, like even in single target. Now they've buffed it to a point where it is good to press it in single target, right? I'm not going to say it's horrendous anymore. I haven't tested it enough to say it's good, but it's to a point where you can have it on your bars. So that's a positive start. Let's go there. But if you're talking Flashing Claws or Venerable Flesh, it's not even a competition. Like, why on earth would I want to put 2 points into Venerable Flesh when Flashing Claws exist? So my immediate pathing and my want and where I see the cool stuff is on the outside of these, and everything in the middle sucks. These points here need to be 1 point talent nodes. This is a small, easy fix that can just be 1 point, right? Have your 1 point for Layered Mane and your 1 point for Vulnerable Flesh, and just be done with it. This will improve pathing down, which you can go down to front of the pack, you can go down to Tooth and Claw, you can go down to Reinforced Fur if you so want. There's different ways for you to go around and get what you want. But now, if you remember the old talent tree at all of the cool Moonfire stuff is now on the bottom right. And this is a struggle bus to get to, because now we have to spend 4 points, right? Not to mention, you still have to press 5 fucking points just to get your max level Incarn. 1 button, 5 talent points. I'm sorry, but that is insane. I want this spec to be good. Anybody that's seen my channel for long enough knows I don't really play Bear. But the thing is they are a tank spec, and I want all 6 tank specs to be good. I have had comments on my Vengeance Demon Hunter videos, on my Warrior, on my Blood DK, on my Bear videos, of people that they're telling me that they have played Bear for a decade, and that they're now following my channel, which I'm happy they are doing, by the way, thank you very much, because I'm providing Warrior content, or Blood DK content, or Vengeance Demon Hunter content, that they need to learn the spec because they're no longer playing Bear. And this is the bullshit where it starts, is this talent tree. Because it's not about performance with this spec right now, right? Bear is survivable enough. They're doing okay damage, like middle of the pack, above average damage with the right build. They're really not terrible from what I've seen performatively. But the problem that happens is making this tree, and this is where everything starts. This is where your perception of the spec begins. This is where everything kind of happens, right? Is as you're building this to grab the cool stuff, doing this sucks. I have spent an hour this morning trying to build an optimal Bear tree on my own. I have gone through several coffees, and I have fucking hated every minute of this. This sucked, because we're, like, Prot Warrior, for example, if you want to grab something more tanky or more offensive or whatever, you know what you're giving up, but you're getting something insanely cool in return, right? You're like, okay, I'm not going to be able to hit as hard with Thunderclap, maybe, but I'll be able to, you know, do all this stuff and just be able to live and just feel really cool. That's fine. That is a positive trade-off. You're trading a positive for a positive. The big thing with this here is you're trading a positive for a negative. I don't want to put I don't want to take 2 points out of Survival Instincts into Layered Mane. I don't want to do that. That feels bad. I don't want to take 2 points out of Flash and Claws, and I will not fucking do that for Mythic Plus for Vulnerable Flash. Why on earth? Like, that, it's not a positive trade-off. That's a pathing issue that sucks. That does not feel good at all. And this is where people are like, bear or dying. This is the bullshit where this begins. Because making this tree sucks. And if you have this new rework talent point system, and like you see comparatively, you see all of the other tanks getting all of this crazy cool stuff, and you're just like, this is right now, the way that I have this build, there's nothing new here. There's nothing new on this spec tree. The newest thing that we have is the Thrash has a chance to deal additional Thrash. Okay, that's cool. And being able to have Survival of the Fittest and Earth Warden at the same time. I'm sorry, but that's not enough. Compared to what Warrior, Paladin, Blood DK, Brewmasters, Vengeance are all getting, we have put 18 points in this tree, and we have gotten nothing new, or nothing new of any significance. And in fact, out of 18 of those points, we have currently put 3 of those points into a base version of Berserk. And this is where I start struggle busting, because I don't know where to go at this point. I don't know where to go to what to take, because every option I go to take feels fucking terrible. Like, you can hear the frustration in my voice when I'm doing this. I spent an hour trying to do a tree this morning, and I hated every single tree. I hated the final outcome of every single one. There's going to be a tree. Someone's going to design the most mathematical cookie cutter tree, whatever have you not, of this is the way to play bear and just pick these talents and you're fine. And the spec might be fine. But the problem is it doesn't remove the main problem, which is making a tree, building this, feels fucking bad. Like, it doesn't feel fun. Like, I don't like this. So if we're going and comparing for Mythic Plus, if you want Vulnerable Flesh or Layered Mane, I'm just going to go Layered Mane. Front of the pack, because Tooth and Claw, I'm not hitting them all anyway. Iron Fur, this is actually not a bad one defensively for 1 point. Like, our Iron Fur armor is increased by an additional 4%, and Barkskin's damage reduced by an additional 5%. This is an interesting 1 point node. It's passive, but it gives you more tankiness. Allows Barkskin to be a little bit more tanky, and it goes through. And then all of a sudden, then you're met with a 2 point node here. You dealt with a 2 point node here when in bear form. You increase arcane damage by 20%. And then we have 7 points left. That's it. 7 points. 7 whole points. Like, what are you going to do with this after you build a somewhat okay upper and middle tree? Right? And there's things here you just don't want to sacrifice. Now, if you're going Layered Mane, you can absolutely take a point out of the Soul of the Forest, because obviously you're wanting to try and maximize this capstone area, because guess what? There's a lot of really good shit there. There's a lot, like, Bear has a lot of good stuff there, right? So that's obviously stuff that you want. So Elun's favored. I know they nerfed the Moonfire healing and damage into the ground, but that just kind of is what it is. Let's take our Incarn stuff. Then we have 5 points left. Right, but it also, like, if we go down here, there's no build where we can get into all of these. Just have access, not get all the capstones. I'm not expecting all the capstone. But there's almost no build that is going to be fully viable, as tanky as it could be, or as offensive as it could be, and still get access to all of these. Right? I have tried to build something that I think would be fun tanky and offensive, and I have not found a way for that to happen and still gain access to all 3 capstone areas. That is a very big fucking problem. I don't like that. I think this is one of the more sweary ones. I'm sorry for my language, guys, but this is pissing me off, right? So we go in and we have 8 points. Grab, your Ursoc stuff. Now, one of the things that we do want is reinvigoration. That's cool. Frenzied regens, cooldowns reduced by 30%. But you do want the Ursoc's Fury. Now, Thrash and Maul now grant you a shield for 30% of the damage for 15 seconds. This is going to provide good value in raid, by the way, because Maul is dealing good damage, actually, when you take all the Maul talents for single target. The problem is Maul doesn't cleave. That's kind of the big thing. If they did make it so Berserk Ravage also included Maul in here, and make it cleave like it does with Mangle. Where is it here? Like, where's the one that makes it cleave? There's one of these that makes it cleave. Oh, there we go. Like in Incarn. If they made it so Maul could cleave a little bit, that would actually start fixing a couple of pain points on the tree, because right now in Mythic Plus, you don't want to put anything in Maul because it's single target and you're dealing with like 4 bosses, and not even all the bosses are single target, right? If you go into Algathar Academy, the big tree boss is an AoE boss. There's really not, like, you're not even going to get value on that on every boss in a dungeon, so what? But this has been nerfed down to 30%, which honestly, that's way too fucking much. I think this should have 2 different values, by the way. I think Thrash should be more along the lines of 50, and Maul could be 30, or whatever have you not. Like, I think that they should have separated the values on that, but whatever have you not is what it is. Then you have 2 points left. So you can go into Moonfire damage, you can go into Rend and Tear, or Untamed Savagery if you want more Thrash damage, or if you want a DR. You can kind of pick that there, but like immediately you're leaving Galactic Guardian on the table. You're leaving Twin Moonfire on the table, and there's just no fun and easy choice to be able to get any of these. Like, these aren't fun choices. There are fun choices that you can make, but the trade-offs. You know what you're getting and you know what you're not. And this feels like all of the trade-offs just suck. I don't want to sound like a broken record, so I'm going to leave that there. This is what I have been feeling with the tree. I'm not going to go ahead and post a build because, fuck, I don't know. I don't know what build would be worthwhile here to actually be able to post. I just don't think there is one for me that I would be happy to post. Someone's already made one, I'm sure, and I'm probably going to run what someone else made and hate every second of it, but we're going to see what happens. But I am going to be streaming today. I'm going to be doing a bear run. I plan on doing all of the tanks in one day, in one dungeon, with the same affixes, and give them all the same little test parameters and things like that. So, but yeah, those are my thoughts on Bear. I hate this rework. The talent shuffle actually made things feel worse. Sorry, Bears. Happy tanking.